See my workbench? What's up, guys? So I had plans today to go out. I just finished up some axes, a couple of axe builds. If you follow my Instagram, you probably already know what axes I'm talking about. So anyways, I had plans on going out and shooting some more dramatic video today of me splitting applewood, which doesn't really split anyway. But it snowed a lot in March. It's like March 21st. It's like supposed to be spring. Global warming. Anyways, so, sorry, no footage today of me annihilating applewood with a sweet axe. So, I finished up a couple of axe builds. Let's start with the council tool. So, this was a commission job. The customer asked if I could put a 26-inch handle on his council tool woodcraft pack axe head. Well, I said, yeah. And he wanted it to be straight. And I said, oh, well, nobody makes a straight handle in that size. So I contacted my buddy Ryan, and I can't say his last name. It's like Lamberad or Lambert. I'm not even going to try. I'll link his information in the description below if you want to contact Ryan for a custom handle. He's the guy. His prices are fair. He does good work. And when you ask for, you get what you pay for. So Ryan carved me out this 26-inch ash handle. He leaves a ton of material up top for the head, so you really got a lot to work with. And he gave me an awesome fawn's foot. Like, look at that fawn's foot. It's huge. So I got it, fit it to the head, comes in right at 26 inches. The customer asked for a tape measure on the back. The first 6 inches marking quarter and half. So I think it kind of turned out okay. So I burned it in, and it adds some grip too. I left a lot of shoulder here. I don't normally do this, but I was basing it off of the factory handle on the woodcraft pack axe and how much shoulder they left on the original. I feel with the cheeks, getting it real close to the shoulder is not quite as important. And I also feel like, although you don't want this head way up on the shoulder, you do want there to be a nice smooth transition from the bottom of the head to the shoulder. And if you bring the head down too close, then a lot of times that transition's real quick, and that's when they're more prone to break. If you give it a nice curved transition into that shoulder, it's much more stable. Also, I had a target length on this handle, and to get it at 26 inches, we had to be right where we're at. I did a custom hand-tooled, hand-stitched leather sheath. This is out of this 10-ounce Craig, Wicked & Craig English bridle leather. It's absolutely gorgeous. The tooling turned out amazing. This is tooling that I came up with on my own. I'm sure somebody else has thought of it. I'm not a genius, but I have a stamp that I like, and when I do this pattern, I really like the way it looks. Gives it a nice Victorian, old-timey feel. My wife says it looks Western, but I don't think so. But it's hard to pick up in the camera the overall theme of the pattern. But I'll try to throw some high-res pictures in. Maybe you can tell from those. But it's a nice sheath, very solid, very thick. This English bridle leather is like some of the best leather ever. It's really, I really don't want to make sheaths out of anything less. And of course, I put a polished edge on it. This was a used axe. It was his user, and he just decided he wanted a straight, longer handle on it. So I went ahead and polished up the edge for him as well. Overall, it's a sweet axe. I mean, I'd love to take this thing out and just swing it because it feels really good with a straight handle. And then, you know, that freaking fawn's foot. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to use this axe. I'll let him beat it up. I don't want to put any marks in the handle or anything because, hey, you know, I overstrike sometimes, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm not an expert. Still learning. Still working on that aim. Someday. Anyways, sweet axe. Like, sweet axe. I wish, I might do this to mine. I don't know. We'll see. While I got here, I'll talk about mine real quick. This is just a factory axe, factory woodcraft pack axe by Council Tool. Very sweet axe. I've only used this just a little bit. I did make a sheath for it, same style as that one. This one, I have my green, proprietary green. Stuff buffs up so nice. All right, now the star of the show. This is my True Temper Flint Edge Kelly Works Connecticut pattern. I've had this axe for a long time. I contacted Ryan a long time ago for a handle. I wanted a 30-inch 30-inch handle. He actually I wanted a 28-inch handle, but he had a 30-inch handle in stock that was he's like 3 different lines. He has like the value line, the standard line, and the custom line. This was a standard line 30-inch handle, and it was a really nice handle, so I went ahead and ordered it. The fawn's foot could be a little bit bigger, but it is what it is. It looks gorgeous. It just, I mean, it's a Connecticut pattern. Come on. It doesn't get any better than this. Like, this is, you know, this is the axe, right? I have a couple more Connecticut patterns. This was my smallest one. So my idea was, it's probably still a 2.5, 3 pound head. I actually weighed it. I scaled it. I don't know. I can't remember what it came in at, but it's like a 2.5, 3 pound head. It's a little heavy for a woods carry, but I think it's well worth the wait to take this out in the woods and and play with it. I mean, it's a sweet axe. I polished the pole. It's not a mirror polish. It's a little bit of a dirty polish. Good enough for me. I did have the edge mirror polished, and then I was playing with it. So I touched it back up with this. I have a 1000 grit. See, now it doesn't feel as sharp as it did yesterday. Oh, there it is. I touched it up with a 1000 grit Waterstone and a strop. It's kind of like a hazy polish now, but certainly sharp enough for freaking anything. The wedge came out really good. I could point out my flaws, but I'm not going to. It's fit on the shoulder really good. It's what I do. I ended up burning this handle. I don't normally burn my handles. It's not my thing. The thing was, though, is this was some really white hickory. I thought it was ash. Ryan corrected me, said it's just a sapwood hickory. It was super white. It was way too white for me. I like that golden color you get. Like this almost, but dark, a little bit darker. I like that golden color you get from hickory when you apply your handle treatment, and this just wasn't getting it. It wasn't coming, so I went ahead and burned it. I got a little heavy in some spots. I think it's okay. It looks okay. I would have rather just like kissed it. Not to where it made the grain pop, but like just past the grain popping to like a, you know, a nice, like if the whole thing was this color, that'd be perfect. Like that, maybe a little bit darker. Whatever. It is what it is. It looks good. It's unique. It looks way better than it did. Even with the fawn's foot shape now, it looks better, feels better. This handle's super thin, like super thin. I can't wait to swing this axe. Like I can't wait. It's gonna be great. I didn't make this sheath specifically for this axe. This is like a standard size sheath I made. It fits many of my axes. It was actually on my Kelly Perfect jersey that I need to rehang. The handle on it's crap. I need to put a better handle on it because it's a mint head. I mean, it's mint, like brand new, never been used, mint. This is like a standard size sheath. It's a bit big for this bit. I will say that. It's a little big. It kind of hits the little big, but it works. It's good enough for now. It keeps the edge protected. Anyways, it fits good enough. It covers the edge. That's all it needs to do, and it looks good. I mean, it looks pretty good on it. That's gonna be the screenshot. Yeah, I'm gonna scroll through my video and make that my screenshot. I did this sheath I did with orange thread. I guess I did the other one with orange thread too. It didn't have the effect I wanted it to, so scrapping that. I'm not gonna scrap the sheath. I'm just not gonna do the orange thread anymore. But that's it. I mean, I don't get to get out here much, so I don't get a lot done. I'm happy with what I got done. I hung 2 axes and sweet. Okay, a couple questions I get a lot I want to answer. Do I have any axes for sale? The short answer is yes, I do. I don't sell a lot of axes. I get attached to these things, but I do have some axes for sale, and they are good ones. At this time, I don't sell just heads. I will sell a completed axe. If you're interested in an axe, shoot me an email. The information is in the link below. And the leather work is going to be an additional, so if you want to buy an axe and get the leather work done, we could do it all as one package. If you just want some leather work done, either way, contact me. Email in the link email link in the description below. I could probably set you up either way. I do have a waiting list. This stuff doesn't happen overnight. If you're a instant gratification type of guy, you're probably not going to be interested in what I have to offer, and I'm okay with that. Like I'm not a high volume seller. This is a personal thing. You're going to get a quality product that's going to last a lifetime, and that's all I'm interested in. What else was I? There was another question I asked. Somebody asked, I was going to answer. I don't know. If you guys have any questions at all, comment below. Email link in the description. If you're not following me on Instagram or Facebook, please do so. I constantly upload pictures and content to those 2 places. Like most of the time, I upload it to Instagram and I share it directly to my Facebook page. So if you're on one or the other, you get to see what's going on. And there's a lot of build pictures, there's a lot of like in progress pictures, there's all kind. If I have something for sale, it gets posted up there. It's a way to keep up with what's going on with me, because I can't always get videos out to you guys. I can't remember what else. I want to take a moment to thank all the new subscribers that I've gotten lately. I appreciate you guys coming by, stopping in, checking out my videos. If you like what you see, click on the subscribe button, thumbs up, all that yada. You guys know that. Like, why do YouTubers feel like they, including me, I'm not excluding myself, but why do we feel like we have to tell people to hit the thumbs up or subscribe button? Like, if you like what I'm doing, you're gonna subscribe, right? I don't know. That's how I am. If I'm looking for content on YouTube, I'm clicking the subscribe button. If I like somebody, they don't need to tell me. Maybe I'm gonna stop telling you guys in the video. I'll try to remember that. Anyways, thanks for all the new subs. I appreciate it, guys. Keep the comments coming. That to me is the most important thing. The comments, the interaction with you guys lets me know that you're interested in seeing what I'm doing, and it motivates me to take the time to make these videos, or better production videos. I'd like to do better production videos all the time, but I just don't have the time. But that's what keeps me motivated. So if you guys want to take the time to comment, I appreciate it. that's pretty much it for now. I'm going to... That's pretty much it for now. I'm going to go try to edit this video and get it uploaded before the weekend. And until next time, see ya.